I very much love reading and responding to your questions and comments that you leave to my videos, but particularly those that begin with "you're wrong," because it usually suggests an opportunity for learning and growth and genuine and positive interaction, and hopefully a little bit of education and correction along the way. One such comment was in respect of the TV licensing. The comment broadly said that "you're wrong, you don't need to have a TV license to own any equipment," which is not strictly true, but I understand the misunderstanding of the premise of the comment left. The misunderstanding is that you need a TV license just to own any equipment, but that's not quite what I said. What I said in the video, the previous video which I'll link below, is that you do need a TV license to watch or record live TV, or to use BBC iPlayer, or, and this is the killer point, to install or own and use any television receiver equipment for that purpose. And this is where the misunderstanding comes in. So welcome back, I'm the Black Belt Barrister helping you to understand law. So please hit the like button and subscribe if you aren't already. And this is a brief clarification on the law for TV licensing, which our international viewers found quite interesting because we do have a TV license fee if we want to watch or record live TV or to use the British Broadcasting Corporation's software called iPlayer. So for those that are not familiar, it's the Communications Act of 2003, Section 363, that makes it an offence to install or use a television receiver that is not authorized by a license. And a person with a television receiver in his possession or under his control who intends to install or use it in contravention of that section, or knows or has reasonable grounds for believing that another person is going to intend to install or use it in contravention of that subsection, is guilty of an offence. But the key point here is what a television receiver actually means. And as with many bits of legislation, this comes from somewhere else, which is why, very broadly speaking, I always recommend that you get a lawyer to explain the law to you, because if you don't know where this definition comes from, you won't know what precisely that section of that act means. Which is kind of why I've created this channel, because I wanted to demystify the law for you, to set it out very plainly and very clearly so you know exactly what it is, although it can't be taken as legal advice for legal reasons. But the Communications Act 2003 is only part of the puzzle. That sets out the offence under Section 363. However, the definition, the meaning, if you will, of a television receiver is actually under the Communications Television Licensing Regulations of 2004. Specifically, Regulation 9, which defines the meaning of a television receiver. And just to clarify why I'm talking about this at all, it's because I said that it doesn't matter whether it's a laptop, a phone, an iPad, a machine, a TV, or anything else that's got some kind of capability to receive television signals, they are all caught by this definition of a television receiver. And a television receiver is defined as any apparatus which is installed or used for the purpose of receiving any television program service or any on-demand service by the BBC, such as iPlayer. And finally, whether or not the apparatus is installed or used for any other purpose. So if only one of the purposes that you've installed or used or intend to use this device for is television, then you need a TV license. Even if you've got lots of other uses, such as a laptop has many other uses, it doesn't matter. If one of those purposes is to receive a TV signal or BBC iPlayer, then you need a TV license. But the most specific part of that wording is that it's any apparatus, so it could be any device whatsoever, that is installed or used for the purpose of receiving a television program. Now, television program is something that lots of people have also asked me about, which I'll come back to in a minute. But installed or used for the purpose. So if it's installed for the purpose of receiving those signals, then you need a TV license. Whether or not, technically speaking, whether or not you go on to use it to receive television programs, you need a TV license. And even if it wasn't initially installed for that purpose, but you go on to use it for that purpose because it is capable of receiving those television programs, and you use it for that purpose, that makes it a television receiver for the purposes of these regulations, which defines what a television receiver is. So very broadly speaking, a television program service is that which is provided by a company which has a license to broadcast television. In other words, I am not such a company. I am not an authorized or licensed television program service provider. So if I do a live stream, or any other YouTuber that is not a TV program service does a live stream, you do not need a television license to watch me or them. But if, for example, it's the BBC, ITV, or Sky, or whoever, then if they are broadcasting a live television service, emphasis on the word live, again I'll come back to, if it is live and you're watching it or recording it, then you need a TV license, even if it's on YouTube, because it says any apparatus, any means whatsoever of receiving a television program service, which will include YouTube. Then we come to, well, what is live? Well, live has been taken to mean anything that is at or around the time of broadcast. So that includes the +1 services, which means it's a 1 hour delay until it gets to you. It's broadcast and then rebroadcast with a 1 hour delay. So pausing it for 15 seconds and then hitting play doesn't cut it. It's still a live broadcast for the purposes of the legislation. A 1 hour delay is still a live broadcast for the purposes of the legislation. This is distinct from on-demand services, which is another way of saying it's stored on a server somewhere else and you are streaming it to you, which for the most part is YouTube, is Netflix, is Amazon Prime. However, if it is a live service, like a live stream service from, let's say, Sky or the BBC, it is a live television program for the purposes of the regulations, and you need a TV license. But, as I say, if it's me or someone else, Charlie Veach perhaps, doing a live stream from the streets of Manchester, you do not need a TV license to watch him or me, or anybody else like us that are just otherwise creating programs for you on YouTube that are not television programs. I hope that served to clear up some of the confusion and to dispel the comment that I am wrong. Please like the video and subscribe, and as always, thank you for watching.